Welcome to the spine-tingling world of our unholy tales, where fear takes its darkest form and every shadow holds a chilling secret. We are your guides through the twisted and nightmarish tales that will keep you on the edge of your seat, clutching your pillow for dear life. Get ready to embark on a journey into the abyss of your deepest fears as we explore the realms of the supernatural, the macabre, and the unknown. Jake sighed as he unlocked the employee's entrance to the museum and held the door open for his co-worker Emma. Working the overnight security shift at the museum was mind-numbingly boring, made worse by the fact that he had to spend it with Emma, who he didn't particularly like. But at $15 an hour, he couldn't complain too much. "Let's just get this over with," Emma muttered as she brushed past him into the dark, cavernous building. Their flashlights cast eerie shadows across the dinosaur skeletons and historic dioramas as they made their way to the security office. After checking the monitors and making sure all the alarms were armed, they settled in for what was sure to be an excruciatingly dull 8 hours. Jake propped his feet up on the desk and leaned back in his chair, while Emma sat stiffly on the edge of her seat, looking like she'd rather be anywhere else. Around 2 a.m., Jake was jarred awake by a loud crash coming from the medieval exhibit. "What was that?" Emma asked, startled. "I'll go check it out," Jake grumbled, grabbing his flashlight and heading out into the pitch-black museum. As he walked past glass cases filled with ancient swords and armor, the hair on the back of his neck prickled. He couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Shining his flashlight around the medieval gallery, he saw that one of the display cases was shattered, its contents strewn across the floor. Jake bent down to inspect the damage, gingerly picking up a heavy iron mace. "Hello!" he called out, hoping maybe the crash had been caused by an animal that had gotten into the museum somehow. Only silence answered. Uneasy, Jake made his way back to the security office. "Looks like one of the cases broke," he told Emma. "Probably faulty installation or something. I'll call the cleaning crew to come take care of it tomorrow." Emma nodded, though she seemed nervous. Over the next few hours they both jumped at every little creak and groan of the old building settling. As dawn approached, Jake's shift was almost over. He couldn't wait to get out of this place. It gave him the serious creeps at night. Just as he was gathering his things to leave, Emma gasped. "Look!" Jake followed her gaze to the security monitor. The medieval gallery was on the screen, only it didn't look empty anymore. Shadowy figures drifted across the room, passing in front of the cases. As Jake stared in disbelief, the figures resolved into a mob of angry villagers wielding torches and primitive weapons. "What the hell?" Jake breathed. Before he could process what he was seeing, blood-curdling screams rang out from the speaker connected to the medieval gallery. The villagers were attacking something off-screen. Wet, visceral tearing sounds filled the security office. Emma shrieked, clutching Jake's arm in a death grip. On the screen, the villagers were eating something, someone. Jake's stomach lurched violently. "We need to get out of here," Emma stammered, face ashen. But as they turned to leave, they found the door blocked by a massive, hairy shape. A huge cave bear stood in the doorway, baring its fangs. Emma screamed again, but her cry was cut short as one swipe of the bear's paw ripped her throat out, splashing blood across Jake's face. Jake scrambled back against the wall in horror. This isn't possible. His rational mind fought to deny it, even as the bear advanced on him. Peering past the bear's bulk, Jake now saw flickering shapes moving in the shadows at the end of the hallway. Skeletal warriors clad in tattered rags and rusted armor, clutching swords and axes. Jake shook uncontrollably with terror as the creatures crowded into the small office. He was trapped. But as the bear's jaws closed around the screaming man's head with a sickening crunch, Jake realized being eaten alive was a far better fate than what these revenants from the grave had planned for him. The creatures of the museum had awakened, and they were ravenous.